He had never imagined that one single choice could change the course of his life so drastically. One moment, he was walking toward what he thought was the opportunity of a lifetime, and the next, everything had slipped away. The sound of his own heartbeat seemed deafening as he watched. The taxi disappeared down the street, leaving him drenched in rain, holding a soaked backpack, and staring at the trembling girl in front of him. She was terrified, lost, and desperate, and without a second thought, he stepped in. But in that instant, he had no idea that his small act of kindness would cost him the dream he'd been chasing for months. If you enjoy stories that touch the heart and remind us of the power of kindness, make sure to subscribe to Kindness Tales. Don't forget to hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments below, because we'd love to hear your own experiences with unexpected acts of compassion. He had always been the kind of person who noticed the little things that most people walked past. He grew up in a quiet suburban neighborhood where his parents taught him to help without expecting anything in return. Money was always tight, and his dreams of climbing the corporate ladder seemed distant and daunting. But he had ambition and heart in equal measure. The week had been a whirlwind of interviews, applications, and networking, all leading up to what he thought was the golden chance, a high-profile position at one of the city's fastest-growing tech companies. He had prepared tirelessly, memorized every line, every statistic, and rehearsed his answers until they were flawless. That morning the sky was gray and heavy, promising rain, but he didn't mind. He was focused, dressed sharply, and already visualizing the corner office he hoped would soon be his. As he rushed toward the subway station, his eyes caught a girl crouched on the sidewalk, shivering and clutching a broken suitcase. At first, he considered keeping to his schedule. He was late, the interview waited for no one, and this stranger was just another pedestrian in distress. But something in her expression stopped him. Her tears were silent, her hands trembling, and she looked utterly helpless. Without thinking, he knelt beside her and asked if she was okay. She explained in a halting, panicked voice that she had just arrived from another city and had gotten off the wrong bus. Her phone battery had died, and she had no idea where to go. He could feel the panic radiating from her like heat. He offered to help carry her suitcase, guide her to a safer place, and even lend her his portable charger. Every instinct screamed at him to keep moving, to not risk missing the opportunity he had worked so hard for. But he found himself sitting across from her in a nearby cafe, sharing coffee and listening to her story. She was polite, grateful, and increasingly relaxed. But the minutes ticked by, and with each tick, he knew the interview was slipping further from reach. Finally, she smiled shyly and said, "I don't even know how to thank you. I don't have anywhere else to go right now." He shrugged, brushing it off, telling her it was no problem, that anyone in his place would have done the same. But inside, he felt a tug, a mix of satisfaction and growing anxiety. The time was almost up. He checked his watch and realized he had 20 minutes to reach the building across town. He stood, urging her to find a taxi and promising he would help her get settled if she needed it. She nodded, and he sprinted into the rain, hoping to make it in time. When he arrived, he was soaked, disheveled, and late. The receptionist looked at him with a polite but firm smile and explained that the interview panel had already begun, and that they could not wait. His heart sank. He tried to plead, to explain that he had been caught in an unforeseen delay, but professionalism and corporate rules left no room for excuses. Within moments, he was escorted out, watching the opportunity dissolve like fog in the morning sun. He wandered the streets in a daze, rain dripping from his hair and jacket, feeling the bitter taste of disappointment. Every scenario he had rehearsed in his head, every vision of success had ended in defeat. He sat on a bench, wondering how one act of kindness, something he had been taught was always the right thing, could have cost him so dearly. Anger and self-recrimination mingled with the lingering warmth of knowing he had done the right thing. Days passed, and he returned to his routine, job applications piling up, his spirits dimming. Then one afternoon, he received an unexpected call. The voice on the other end was calm, but carried a weight of authority. He was asked to come in for an impromptu meeting at a familiar office building. His curiosity outweighed his hesitation, and he arrived to find the same company where he had missed the interview. But this time things felt different. He was ushered into a conference room, and there she was, the girl from the rainy morning, now looking composed, confident, and impossibly familiar. She smiled at him, and for a moment he felt the strange dissonance of recognition and surprise. She thanked him again for helping her when she had been lost and scared. Then she leaned forward, her tone sincere but playful, and said, "You may not have realized it at the time, but you helped someone who happens to have a bit of influence here." He blinked, unsure whether she was joking, but as she spoke, the pieces began to fall into place. She was not just anyone. She was the CEO's daughter, the very person whose approval could open doors he had been struggling to reach. The conversation unfolded like a dream. She explained that she had observed his integrity and selflessness from the moment he helped her. She had shared the story with her father, who had been impressed by his character and the way he acted, without thinking of personal gain. She admitted that the way he had chosen compassion over ambition told her more about him than any interview ever could. The company had a policy of recruiting for talent and character, and while he had missed the original interview, they were now offering him a position not just on the team he had initially applied for, but a role where he could truly grow, one that matched his skills and ambition far better than the one he had lost. He was stunned. The realization hit him that his act of kindness, which he had feared had been a mistake, had instead created an opportunity far beyond anything he could have planned. Tears welled in his eyes as he processed the irony and beauty of the moment. The rain-soaked morning that had seemed like a disaster was, in hindsight, a pivotal point, a test of character that had unknowingly set him on the right path. He felt a deep sense of gratitude, not just for the unexpected chance he had been given, but for the simple principle that had guided him. Helping others, even when it seems inconvenient, is never wasted. In the weeks that followed, he thrived in his new role, discovering that the company valued collaboration, honesty, and empathy just as much as skill and determination. The girl he had helped became a friend and mentor, sharing insights and guidance, reminding him that moments of compassion often ripple far beyond what we can see. Every morning, he reflected on the choice he had made that rainy day, and it became a quiet affirmation that integrity and kindness are not just moral choices, they are life-changing ones. Looking back, he realized that what seemed like a loss was actually a blessing in disguise. He learned that chasing success without heart can lead to emptiness, but putting others first, even in small ways, can create paths that ambition alone cannot reach. His story became a reminder to everyone he met that life has a way of rewarding those who act with empathy, who notice the lost and the struggling, and who offer help without expectation. And he made it his mission to carry that lesson forward, to act with kindness in every decision, knowing that the smallest gesture can change a life, including his own. The moment he helped that girl on the street stayed with him forever. It was a quiet reminder that true success is measured not by titles or paychecks, but by the love, compassion, and courage we show in everyday moments. Every act of kindness, no matter how small, carries the potential to open doors, heal wounds, and shape destinies. And in sharing this story, we hope it inspires you to embrace opportunities to help others, to trust in your instincts of compassion, and to remember that the world always notices when someone chooses to care. Share your own stories of unexpected kindness in the comments, and let's remind each other that the smallest gestures often leave the largest impact.